Hey guys, welcome back to Film Feud. I'm Angel Ramirez.
Marcus Nartatez.
And we're here to give you our review of the latest film in the Disney saga of live action, turning their old properties into live action, Alice Through the Looking Glass.
The sequel to Alice in Wonderland.
Yep, from 2010.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, and it definitely feels that long. So we're just going to get right into it. We're going to start off because we're optimistic guys. Let's some of the positives of this movie. What'd you think?
Visually, I don't think they ever have a problem with that, but that's probably for me the best part about it. It's visually very satisfying. I some of the clock scenes and things like that. Just nice to look at.
Yeah, it's definitely a very visceral film. I mean, the last one was too. So I mean, if they got anything right, they got that right for sure.
I never expect them not to get that right. It's kind of they got that part down. How about you? What is that? Anything else?
Yeah, I mean the visual effects were good. I liked certain aspects of it. There was a scene in the beginning of the film where I didn't think made much sense. But then seeing it in context later on, it was the whole first 10 minutes she was a sea captain, and I wasn't sure why they were doing that. And then when you see that when she's in the chronosphere, how she's navigating the sea of time and and it gives you a reason to know how she would know how to use it. You know?
Yeah, I thought that part was a little weird at first.
Yeah.
And then it kind of tied it in together. But at the time, that beginning scene, it just felt really, I don't know. I thought it was a dream the whole time.
Yeah.
I still don't know what's a dream and what isn't a dream in this movie.
Maybe that's the point.
I guess
that's what they say
that's
at
the
the
point.
end.
But she looks very out of place.
Yeah.
Even more so than the rest of the movie.
I mean, I know it's been 6 years, and I think 6 years is way too long for a sequel. I'm talking to you, James Cameron. But just opening the film, and the last one, from what I remember, the whole movie was about she didn't want to get married to this guy, and that was her big struggle. And then in this one, we open the film and she's a ship captain, and I don't understand. First of all, in that time period, how that would work out. How you go from there to there. I didn't really see the jump.
Yeah, well, I know her father was a captain. That was his business before, and she was I think she's the only child. Again, it's been 5 years, or 6 years,
Yeah.
so I don't remember. But I believe she's the only child. And, I wish they would have, explained more of how she got from point A to point B. I guess from point B to point 1A.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I think the only other positive for me is actually something that was a negative in the first movie, and that was Johnny Depp's performance as the Mad Hatter. I think this one, because in the first one it was just, oh, look how crazy I am, da 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 da. But this one, I think he played it a lot more subdued, and he was still mad, but he had this like groundedness about him because he was sick or whatever, but I think it worked for the character.
Well, definitely more depth to him. He just wasn't the crazy Hatter, Mad Hatter, whatever he was. So there's more depth. He's depressed, the depressed Hatter,
exactly.
in this film,
the sad Hatter.
And some of this will be spoilers. I guess the plot is that he thinks his family's dead. He finds something that tells him they may be alive, and it kind of puts him into a downward spiral. And I don't understand why that would put somebody in a downward spiral. If my parents were dead and I found something that could make them alive, I would be...
Well, I mean, if your family died and all this time you just didn't even try looking for them because you thought they were dead, and then, I think it was just a missed opportunity and missed time and all that. And time, speaking of, that's going to get into my negatives about the story in general. It's all about time. And we knew this because in the beginning, when she's in the real world, they say time, I swear, at least 30 times in the first 15 minutes. And I couldn't stand it. Like, I get it. This whole story is going to be about time. Let's just get there. Let's get to it. And just the story structure as a whole, just getting it. It's not like X-Men Apocalypse where you could see how they get from point A to point B to point C. But this movie, she was supposed to go to whatever that day was when his family died. She couldn't get there, so she went. Day? Yeah, haberdashery day, whatever. So she couldn't get there, so then she goes even further back in time. And then when she can't finish her mission there, she goes even further back in time. This is the first time travel movie I've seen where like the only response, the only thing that can fix it is to go further back in time. I'm surprised she didn't go back to when the queen was born and kill her in her sleep. Like I couldn't stand it.
Well, yeah, I mean they did kind of touch on the fact that Sacha Baron Cohen's character, Father Time,
just time.
He was pretty good actually.
Yeah, I like him.
He did say you can't change it, and I guess I saw her keep going back just because she felt like she missed the opportunity to change, and then she finally realizes she can't change it, and it's about learning from the past, which is one of the undertones of the movie. But yeah, so I think that's why she kept going back in time, because she couldn't. She was hard headed. She's hard headed in both films. But
yeah, no, I get all that, but in this movie I hate also. Alice is the bad guy in this movie, right? It's not just me.
She's an asshole.
Yeah. Okay. The Time Master is. You think he's the bad guy because he's
just doing his job.
He really is, and he tells her, "You can't. This is the clock of all time or whatever. Don't steal this thing." She goes right in there, steals it, starts going back in time. The time guy catches her and tells her like, "You're messing everything up."
You can see. I mean, she sees the world shaking and the ill effects of what she did. Yet she's still trying to save this one family. Yeah, and it just doesn't make sense.
It's just had her,
and she literally came. And she literally came like inches away from
seconds away
from failing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was definitely not the hero in this.
No, not at all. The way they try to flip it and make her be the hero is right at the end when the queen takes the chronosphere and takes one trip back to the past after Alice has taken like 4. And then all of a sudden, oh no, this is the straw that breaks the camel's back. We have to stop her. Why wasn't anybody trying to stop Alice? To me, that's a big fault in this film.
What do you think about her as Alice in general, in the previous film and this film?
In the last one, I like the idea of Alice in Wonderland. I think they should have picked a different actress. Because, to me, a lot of her line delivery is kind of like Mystique in X-Men. I'm bringing it all back to X-Men. But just like, oh my god, the Mad Hatter. Everything is magical. Oh, I'm growing. Is
that her or the script?
I don't get the sense of wonder from her. I think.
Oh, she's very.
Pieces of dialogue.
No, I do too.
Yeah, I just don't think she emotes that she's in this magical land. I think part of that is because it's like in Star Wars where you're acting against a green screen,
and I think
as opposed to actual people.
And I think she was. I don't know much about the actress, but I think she was. The weakest part, one of the weaker parts of the first film, but you got by because there was a lot of good secondary characters. Not that I love the first film, but the Hatter was in it much more. We had other characters. The dog, oh God, I don't remember his name. They didn't use his name in this one.
I don't even think they used anybody's name except for Hatter. She literally gets to Wonderland and then everybody's having tea and they tell her, "Oh, go here." And this movie really, I think you get away with it the last movie because, like you said, the tertiary characters are a big part of the story. Yeah, very big supporting part. Help move the story forward. You get depth into them. And this one, it's all on Alice's shoulders, and I don't think she can carry the weight.
Yeah.
So
I got that. What I didn't like was, and not that I liked it. I haven't seen a short film under 2 hours in a while. It feels like between Batman and Superman, Civil War, and
X-Men.
X-Men.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. Did I hate the movie? Well, I mean. I guess we'll go into what you thought about it.
No, I personally did not like this movie. I think there were certain aspects that are good. I mean, in any bad film, there's good parts. Like, I think the concepts are great, but I think that's because that comes from the book, the source material itself. Just like the seconds, how they're his second in command, and they formed up together to make minutes, and then the minutes form up together to make an hour, and I like that. That was kind of cool. But stuff.
No, there were some cool parts like that.
Yeah, stuff like that, and then the Hatter. Like I said, I think Johnny Depp did a really good job in this one. But I just think the film as a whole doesn't hold up. Like, those few parts aren't enough to give it a fresh rating, in my opinion.
See, I'm not as harsh as it than you are. Mm-hmm. I know you didn't like it very much. I won't say I like it. I won't suggest going to the movie theaters to watch this. If you do, it's fine. The lady behind us loved it. Oh my God.
She was loving it. That was probably why I liked it, even the little bit that I did, because she was going she must have read the books. Like every little inside joke, she was giggling. She was having a good time.
But for me, I'm a sucker for a good moral story. I know I'm still like a little kid. I mean, it's very, nothing's impossible.
Yeah. I think I can. I think I can.
That kind of stuff, and time, and how time in the beginning was an enemy, and then you learn that it's not an enemy. It's it's a blessing, and I'm just a sucker for that kind of stuff. I'm 33 years old, but it's still parts of me are a little kid, and it's Disney. So if anyone knows how to do the very generic.
Family
wish
life
upon
lessons.
A star kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's them. So I guess that. But there's about halfway through the movie, I was like, oh my God, I don't know how much I could take of this.
Yeah. No, I did like in the beginning though. Was it the beginning? I don't know if it was just the way I was looking at it, but didn't the person's castle, the Time Guy's castle, it kind of looked like the Disney logo, right? Was it that?
Yeah, they have a lot of those things.
Yeah, and like I think they're doing the same thing with the Beauty and the Beast.
This is the first movie. This is the first movie in a long time I didn't hear a Star Wars reference.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all over the place. Well, I guess we've only seen Marvel movies, really.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens in the summer, man. You get those longer, bigger budgets. It's all spectacle in the summer, and then in the fall we eat our vegetables and have all the Oscar movies and stuff.
Well, give it a rating.
I'm gonna give it, like I said in summation, just there were some good redeeming qualities in the film, but it wasn't enough to get me there to liking it. So I'm gonna give it out of 5. I'm gonna probably go 2.3 out of 5.
Okay. I gave our last movie a 3.5, I think. And I enjoyed that, so I won't go that high. I'm going to say right around 2.83.
Okay.
I mean, not a failing grade.
Yeah.
But if you wait and see this on video or on demand whenever it comes out, I don't think you'll be missing much.
Yeah, it's not something you should rush out to see, but if it's when
we saw it up here in Connecticut, we see we have Tuesday.
Yeah, cheap Tuesdays.
Cheap Tuesdays. So it's a good cheap day movie. Spend your real money on good movies.
Yeah, go see Civil War again.
Yeah, basically. but $6 is well worth $6.
So we're gonna get into the Film Feud section, and this one is not so much about the film, but a certain character in it.
Actor.
We're gonna talk about. Lately, we've seen a bunch of performances from Johnny Depp as Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Mad Hatter, all these
Sparrow.
Yeah, all these
Mordecai
out there. Mordecai. So what we're gonna argue is, do you think he should continue to be playing these out there characters, or do you think he should go back to like Donnie Brasco, his roots, and back to when he was first starting out?
Okay, I mean, I'll start off. I think it's getting a little old. I think he's a great actor. We've seen him act in other things, and very good. But I can't remember what he is when he's acting like a normal human being. I think the last time I saw him, he was with that movie with Angelina Jolie. which
the
tourist, which I couldn't remember the name. And there's a reason why I couldn't remember the name is because, he was just okay in that, and it just. I want to see him more in a normal role. I think it's just the same role over and over and over again, just different characters, and it's fun. And he does a good job each time. But I would like to see him get a real role. That it's not a big Disney production. It's not his voice. It's not singing like Sweeney Todd. I guess.
I hear that point, and when he does do straight, I think recently the only one that kind of got him back to form was Black Mass. I think he did good in that.
Yes.
But back to Donnie Brasco, he was cranking those out left and right. Blow. But I think that if he wants to, he should still be doing these. Because even though I didn't like his rendition on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I didn't like him in the first Alice in Wonderland. In the second one, he got the character back. And I think he did a fabulous job. I think that if you don't have him try these different characters, it's like baseball. You got to swing at something sometimes, And
but it's not different characters. It's the same character. He's been doing it since Jack Sparrow. He hasn't stopped.
That's exactly it.
You have to
swing a couple of times before you can get a Jack Sparrow, and then that becomes iconic. You have to swing before you get an Edward Scissorhands, before you get a Mad Hatter.
I think it's Jack Sparrow is obviously the role he's known for, and I think he sullies it by doing these characters that are almost exactly like Jack Sparrow in a different setting or tweak it a little bit. I just feel like he's just taking Jack Sparrow and putting it all over the place, and it's becoming thin. That when I do see Jack Sparrow, I can't help but think Mad Hatter. I can't help but think. What was Alice? Not Mad Hatter.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I can't help but think that now when I watch. I go back and I watch. The original. Original Pirates of the Caribbean or the other two, and I just.
I think it's the same thing he does with regular acting, because regular acting, like you said, The Tourist was not that great. Black Mass was. Mordecai, it was kind of in the middle of that weird character, serious character. He didn't hit it there. So I think he's just he's like a slugger, where he's like a baseball hitter. He's a DH, where his batting average isn't that high, but his slugging percentage is off the charts. So when he hits it hard. And I think if he wants to keep swinging for those kinds of things, he should, because when he does hit it out of the park, it's great.
I just think it's yeah.
So
I just think it's negatively affecting some of his other roles. Well, as always, we ask you guys what you think. Let us know in the comments below. With that,
make sure if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It helps us come back to you every week. You can follow the channel on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Film Feud Guys. You can follow Marcus
F. Nartatez. Link below to my Twitter account.
Yep. You can find me on the various social media sites as at The Great Rambino. And until next time, in case we don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Thanks for watching.